and this is our channel. Guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe our channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Okay?
There is a video game that doesn't exist. It's a myth, an urban legend, a hoax. It's called Polybious, and you might have heard of it. Let me take you back to 1981, back when arcade games were at their peak. A multi-billion-dollar industry and a fever that had a grip on pop culture. Video arcades were a new social nexus and had sprung up everywhere. Dimly lit by neon light, adorned with garish carpet, they played host both to crowds of teenagers and cabinet after cabinet of the hottest games of the era. Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga. However, in an unnamed arcade in some sleepy suburb of Portland, there lurked something more obscure. A limited release of a game that would evaporate as silently as it appeared. The stories are vague. The cabinet is described as plain, and the gameplay? Weird looking, abstract, fast action with puzzle elements. Sometimes it's described as being particularly addictive, despite the unassuming appearance. The only concrete details are the name, year of release, and the company behind it. Polybious, 1981, Zenith Lotion. Really, it was just like any other arcade machine, except for the side effects. Reports of sickness, amnesia, night terrors, and behavioral changes followed those who played it. It was no accident either, if you believe the rumors. Instead, a secret project by a government agency, developed from military tech for the CIA or some other men in black. The machines were observed, gameplay records were taken, and then, after a month or so, they disappeared without notice, along with any shred of evidence. To this day, no authentic cabinets, boards, or dumped ROMs have surfaced. But there are some who claim to hold them. Quite the yarn. But could there be any merit to this myth, or even a basis in truth? It's probably safe to assume that the story has been subject to quite some embellishment. The accounts are full of conjecture and weasel words, supposedly, according to, etc. One thing remains consistent across all the stories, and that's the name. Polybious. Why Polybious? It's not novel. It belongs to a Greek of some repute, a prominent historian born in Megalopolis, Arcadia. This could be a deliberate choice to muddy search queries about the game, or perhaps it was chosen on its own merits. Polybious covered the Romans' rise to power in detail, an important primary source and an early example of rigor in historiography. He also lends his name to a simple cipher, the Polybious square, in which letters are substituted by their coordinates on a grid. Altogether, this doesn't tell us much, although the meaning of the name is interesting. The poly prefix means many, and bios, life. Many lives, from Arcadia. Convenient. It could be a coincidence, but we can assume whoever named the game has at least some knowledge of either history or cryptography. Real or not, the name was chosen.